Hey, day number 48 of 90. My name's Alan Thomas, and I have Rethink Dieting for Men, and it's part of Transform My Future, where I coach men from morbid obesity into an ideal weight. And tonight, my post is it's a quote from Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. And if you guys don't know that movie, it's a spoiler alert. So in Lord of the Rings, Aragorn is confronted by the Elf King, Arwen or whatever the guy's name is. But he tells him, he said it's time to put off the ranger and be, I can't remember the quote now, I've got it in the notes, and be who you're called to be. And it's interesting. I think about this. So what the heck's I got with weight loss? Well, so many of the men that I talk to, I go back to my story every night and tell it, but some of the men I talk to are like that. I mean, the obesity is just holding them back from being who they really were made to be. And, when I, on March 2nd, 2017, I stepped on the scales and I weighed 304 pounds, and I'm 5'11". I was 55 years old, and I knew that day that it would be the likelihood of me living until I reached 65 was almost zero. I mean, I knew I'd be dead if I didn't do something about it. But more important than that is all the things that I missed in relationships with my family, my wife, all the different things, and but even equally as important, not more important, equally as important is, who was I supposed to be? I was allowing my weight to hold me back. I was allowing obesity to stop me in my tracks. And, from the outside, you might not could see it. I mean, I was successful in insurance sales, but I wasn't fully being who I was called to be. And I think that's so common with the men that I talk to, almost without exception. The men that I talk to have, their confidence is held back. They're embarrassed. They've been, they get teased on the job, and most guys will just take it, that kind of thing. But those kind of wounds, they go deep, and the shame and embarrassment of not being able to control, what you eat, and I know that feeling. I know what that's like, and all of these different things that the world sees is like, well, he should be able to stop eating, get his weight under control. They just don't understand why it is, and I get that. I mean, it's really, and I talk to these men that I talk to every week, dozens of guys that are going through that, and they don't believe that they can stick to anything. They don't believe, they know what to do. They know what to do. This is what's crazy. They know what to do, but they just can't seem to do it. I mean, the number of men that put on a little questionnaire that I have, their biggest challenges are themselves. Their biggest challenge, and that was me. I mean, that was 100% me. My biggest challenge was me. I was the problem, and I knew it, and I just didn't know how to stick to anything. I mean, I could have written a book on diets, and I just didn't know how to do it. And it was really the turning point that hit in March of 2017, changed everything for me, and I figured it out. I mean, it was an unconventional way that I lost the weight, as far as not as far as the diet and the exercise piece. You got to do that. I mean, people who think there's a magic pill, there's not. People who want to have a lap band surgery, God bless you. There's no magical way. You've got to fix this right here. And I'm not talking about psychotherapy or any of that, but you've got to change the way you think about this process. It's way simpler than you'd ever believe. And it's way more possible than you ever believed. Is it easy? Hell no. Is it simple? Yes, it is. But I was guilty of this. I didn't want to do what was necessary to have what I dreamed of having, because it scared me to death. And I think that's so many men that I talk to. Fear is the underlying factor. They don't want to step into it, but by not stepping into who they're called to be, they put on this facade of somebody that they're really not. And then the pounds come, and it's 10 pounds and 5 pounds and 2 pounds and 30 pounds, and before they know it, it's 50, 100, 150 pounds, 250 pounds of morbid obesity, and then they're stuck. And in the shame of the stuff, and then it becomes about all the pain that they're in rather than the root. It becomes about all the things that they're missing out on, how they can't go up a flight of stairs without being winded, how they're on diabetes medicine and might lose they're not controlling their diabetes, so they might, have real big complications in eyesight or nerve complications. They might be sleep apnea, might have oxygen, they might have all these things, all these symptoms, and those are just symptoms. The root is not being what you're supposed to be, and I know that sounds like real simplification. You're not going to hear that at a diet center. They're wanting to sell you some food. They're wanting to sell you a diet. I don't sell diets. Because really it's not the issue, the big issue. If that was, and I say this every night, if a diet was the answer, if that was the answer, everybody would be on it. Everybody would have six-pack abs, 32-inch waist. All the men would be perfect sized. Because it's a $72 billion industry. You think it's out there. Turn on the TV. You're going to see a new diet every week. You're going to see one of your friend. When I lost weight, people said to me, they said, "So what did you do? What did you do?" And my answer became, "You don't want to do what I did." Because they really don't. And I said it tongue in cheek, and they said, no, tell me what you did. And they wanted a Band-Aid. They wanted a Band-Aid to get fixed because they thought that what I did would be easy because I did it. It was pretty simple. It wasn't easy, but 260 days from that 304-pound scale reading, 129 pounds later, I was 175. And I don't say any of that ever to impress you, but impress upon you it's possible. If you're a man that's struggling with this, you got to rethink it. You can keep on going the way you're going. You can keep on doing what you're doing, and you're going to keep on getting what you've been getting. If you're sick and tired, and I mean, you got to be sick and tired of it, like I was. I was at the turning point, the tipping point. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and are willing to do whatever it takes, and I'm not talking about doing unhealthy stuff. I'm not talking about ignoring what a doctor says. I'm not a doctor. I'm not talking about going crazy with that kind of thing. I'm talking about doing what's necessary. Then reach out to me at transformmyfuture.com/apply. Schedule a breakthrough call. If you feel like your weight's holding you back, let's have an honest discussion. See if you're right for my program. If you want to go to rethinkdieting.com, you can watch a free web class. It's about 48 minutes, and you'll see some of the things that I learned on the journey from 304 pounds to 175 pounds. But most of all, I'll say to you is it's possible. There's hope. Don't give up. Because, listen, that's the part that breaks my heart. Men who just come almost to the edge of where they're ready to get it done, and then they step back away from it. I'm seeing guys have amazing results. I don't take any credit for it. These guys are absolutely rock stars. The weight they're losing, they're just doing what's necessary because they're just some simple things that you can do that changes everything. It's, is it easy? No. Is it simple? Yes. But you've got to rethink this. And if you're at that point and you need help, reach out to me on a breakthrough call. See if our program's right for you. Let's see, I went over all the stuff. It's late. Sun's going down on Amelia Island. But you guys have a great evening, and, post a comment if you would. If you've got questions, post a comment. Share this with a friend who's struggling with obesity. I love to help the guys that really struggle. Really have a, that's where my heart goes, is to the guys that are 100, 200. And, if you got 50 pounds to lose, no problem. That can be a big struggle too. But the guys that were like me, those are my people. And if you're almost completely out of hope, man, love to get you on the phone, because I got enough hope for both of us, because I know it's possible. Be encouraged. Don't give up. Go to transformmyfuture.com/apply. You guys have a great night.